The very first thing I want to talk about is the box office, of course. The box office has been doing pretty good this weekend, but still not phenomenal, guys. Look at this box office. We had 28 Years Later came out, and it made $30 to $31 million, but the budget on that was like $60 million. I think that'll make its money back. But then again, at that point, that's not that big of a budget compared to most of these big blockbuster movies. They shot that on iPhone 15 Pro Max, and that's probably why. But then you look at Elio that's coming out from like Disney over there from Pixar, and guys, that was like $150 million budget over there from Disney Pixar, and it only made $22 million opening weekend. So I'm going to say woof, and I'm also going to say, like, if you break it down what that actually means, this is like the lowest pretty much. And the second lowest ever was Toy Story 1 at $29.1 million, but that was back in 95. So that's a big difference in box office prices and all that. So I think Disney is probably freaking out about that. That's a big, big buzz. Hopefully the second weekend does great for that, so we'll have to wait and find out. But we do know that there's not a lot of work happening here in LA because of what? Well, one thing was FilmLA. Now, FilmLA is, of course, who sets all the precedents for permits, for who you have to have on set, how much it costs to rent lots and have your trailers there, also how much you're gonna have to spend to actually have your porta potties in the road and all that. They make all of the restrictions, right? And our mayor, Karen Bass, said she signed an executive order saying that FilmLA had to cut all the red tape. Talk about having less people working, less certified people on set, and be more in line with other states that have less red tape to actually film in their cities. And then what happened? They signed a 5-year deal and did not change anything. Did not change anything, guys. And when I hear this, I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? And I'm sorry to swear right off the bat, but like, you were talking about how work's not coming to LA and you got to fix that, and we're going to stop the red tape, and then you just sign a 5-year deal and say, well, we have like a year, like, a verbal agreement. We're going to work this out a year later. I'm like, no one's going to work anything out a year later. It's not going to happen. Like, you don't make the deal now, it's not going to happen. So I don't believe that at all. I think it's the worst idea ever that we signed this contract. It's only going to affect production here. Less productions that come here. People aren't going to want to pay all the money for it, and it's a big problem. And there was a whole company coming forward that was called Stay in LA that was trying to push them, just like delay it 6 months. Delay it 6 months, figure this out, keep that same contract for then, and then figure the details out and sign the deal and be done with it. But they said, no, we can't do that, because if we do that, the contract's going to lapse, and we're not having anybody doing permits anymore, which is dumb. It's dumb. Work a deal, figure it out. If they both parties say they want to save film in LA, do it together. Don't just sign a rush deal for 5 years that could actually mean the end of cinema here in LA. That bums me out so much. I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to try to fix this when I get in office, but it sounds horrible, guys. Horrible. But at least some things are doing well. Of course, How to Train Your Dragon. It's doing great at the box office. People have been loving, of course, the live action version of this, except for one thing. Yeah, LA politics are confused. There's a lot that gets into this, Cara, and I hate to go off on it sometimes, but it just frustrates me. Astrid, guys, you guys know the live action version of Astrid. Everybody was like excited about this concept, or I guess How to Train Your Dragon coming back. But Astrid apparently doesn't have blonde hair in the trailer or in the series, in the movie, and all the fans are freaking out about how she's not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed character, giving the fans, giving like Disney a hard time, also giving the actor a hard time, going after her and being like, why are you doing this? You're not cast right. You don't look right. This is where fan backlash comes into big play. But she came forward and said that people just want to hate inclusivity, and that's it. And when it comes to that side of things, I just don't care. That's what she said. This 21-year-old performer, who is also Tandy Newton's daughter. But there's also that, guys. So, but she is, I love Tandy Newton, but it's like all this whole thing about, nepotism, but also like fans just want to hate sometimes on things. I haven't seen it yet. I hear her performance is pretty good. So at the end of the day, that's what all that matters to me. But you know what? Fans are going to hate when you don't like that character. We've been talking about this for a long time. People are mad about it. But at the end of the day, what's it really matter? Not much to me. What matters more to me is this Fat Joe lawsuit. Because guys, I'm sick of talking about all these allegations of harassment and assault and all that. You guys know I'm sick of it, but it keeps coming up. We got a new one. So Fat Joe's sidekick, his hype man himself, Terrence T.A. Dixon, came forward and said that, now you guys ready for this? Because this is a lot. He was saying that Fat Joe coerced him into exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. And he was saying that Fat Joe actually alleges that he likes him on the young side. And he had a bunch of relationships. He said that this rapper engaged in sex acts with minors and also made him get in 4,000 sex acts just to stay as his hype man, which I'm like, what? He forced you to have sex with 4,000 people or be involved with 4,000 people? Keep your job. But he said also that Fat Joe suppressed him because he did a lot of the writing for Fat Joe and all of his stuff, but he was actually pushing him down and saying, no, he did nothing. And then he also said that if you tell anybody, or I will leave in this country in the middle of nowhere and not give you a ride home. So he was like threatening him, and then he would force him to have sex acts for 4,000 things, which that seems crazy to me. But the biggest allegations, right? But the biggest allegations that were big for this, if you ask me, as he said that Fat Joe had 3 relationships that he knows of. The first one was a 16-year-old Dominican girl in New York in exchange for cash, clothing, and payment for her cell phone bill for oral performances on him and other sexual acts. That was the first one. And the second one was another minor, Jane Doe too, a Caucasian female who was also 15 years old. And he said sexual relations, again, forcing it on her on multiple occasions. Until he was pretty much moving on to somebody else. And there was the third one that he knows about, a Latina female, where he met when she was 15 years old and then turned 16. And he actually almost left his wife to be with this 16-year-old girl. These are pretty big allegations. Massive allegations.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He was in his 30s when this was happening, Angela. So he was in his 30s, and the 15, 16-year-old girls. And in this lawsuit, he's going after him pretty hardcore. And Fat Joe's firing back and saying this is a blatant act of retaliation for being fired, and it's all lies. Now, we'll have to find out how this plays out. But when anybody says that somebody was using their power to abuse children, I always say, let's research this. Let's get into this. These are big allegations. And I want the truth, because no one needs to be touching children. And these are big allegations, guys. And if they're true, well, then he needs to be in jail with Diddy, if you ask me. But allegations, we'll find out where these go. And allegations can ruin someone's career, like Ezra Miller. But I feel like Ezra Miller also ruined their career a little bit too. But again, there was a big grooming thing for Ezra Miller, that he was grooming a 12-year-old. They were grooming a 12-year-old, and then all these assault things were coming forward from that. All those charges were actually dropped. But of course, he was doing The Flash a couple of years ago, and there was all this stuff about him breaking into people's houses, stealing things, threatening people's lives, and then also grooming this young woman. And so now this is being dropped. He's back in the light a little bit. He went to the Cannes Film Festival for one of his friends' big debuts and said that they're trying to come back. Ezra Miller wants to come back, and said that they were working on themselves. And at the end of the day, they didn't hold a lot of remorse back in that day about everything that was going on in their life, everything that happened, but they're really grateful for the lessons that came from falling into the abyss, as Ezra said. So will Ezra Miller come back? I feel like there's a lot of actors that haven't caused problems on set. You know me, guys. And I feel like they should have an opportunity before this person where he shot themselves in the foot. But I bet, knowing Hollywood, they'll probably be back. Don't really care for this, but I do love that Dave Batista is always coming back. Friend of the show, guys. Good old Dave. Love Dave. And not to say there's not drama too on Roadhouse. There's a lot of drama on Roadhouse 1, but Dave Batista's up for Roadhouse 2 right now. There'll be a supporting character, but still a pretty substantial character. Jake Gyllenhaal's coming back. Of course, Doug Liндman is not coming back, the director from the first one, because Doug wanted this to go to theaters and was fighting Amazon tooth and nail for this. They wouldn't release it. They said they're going to do it. They weren't going to do it. It came out and streaming made 80 million views. So massive. Now, will the second one come to streaming? Probably right to stream. They haven't said anything about the theatrical release or anything like that. But Jake Gyllenhaal is coming back. We have, again, Guy Ritchie coming in to direct this. I love Guy Ritchie. So that's a great addition to this crew. And Batista, I think it'd be fantastic. I hope it does well, guys. But it feels like, when you talk bad about the studio, you're not going to come back. So he's not coming back. Liндman's not coming back. And, it just seems like a lot of bickering for no reason. I heard it was great, Comments. I still haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it. I love Gyllenhaal. I think it's a great.
Brian.
Oh, GR didn't like it. Because you like Patrick Swayze. You were probably missing Swayze, weren't you, GR?
And the story wasn't the same. It was a trashed. They used the name. That's all they did.
Oh, that sucks. I hate when they do that. I really do. When you're going to stick by a source material, stick by the source material. Like, of course, Baldoni did when he did his movie with Blake Lively. And this is not done, guys. This is not done. We've been trying to say it's not done, but now a judge has come forward, Judge Louis J. Liндman, and has denied Blake Lively, because this court case is still set, by the way. It's still happening, but denied Blake Lively trying to keep all of her text messages with Taylor Swift from being evidence in the actual courtroom. room. And the judge came forward and said that all actually stands because there's a lot of situations that were going down at that time that maybe these text messages will have some kind of proof that could help the Baldoni case. Now, what will happen? We'll have to wait and find out about this, but it's a big win for Justin Baldoni. And honestly, at the end of the day, this Ends With Us lawsuit has had some sidetracks for Baldoni and his team, but this is a big win for him. Now, she was subpoenaed before. She's not going to be there, Taylor Swift, but now he's able to go through all of her text messages from that time, and if there's anything that might actually be in his benefit, he can use. So we'll have to wait and find how this turns out. The case was not dismissed, Countess. A couple charges were dismissed. 2 out of 7 were, so there's still 4 more cases that are actually still going. So this is not done. Baldoni's team worked through it. They filed new stuff. This is still going to go down in March of 2026. So get ready, guys. This is far from being done. Just like the Brothers show. I know. Everybody's saying that like I am. I don't know. What do? We'll talk about that some more. I'm more excited to talk about Brothers because Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, all right, doing a show together about them being brothers, but not being brothers, like putting that all on the line because there's still that rumor they might actually be brothers, which is crazy to me. But they've been shooting this series. Allegedly, yep. Shooting it in Apple TV Plus series over in Texas. And now they shut down production when they have 2 episodes left because they have fired their showrunner. And apparently at the time, they were having conflicting ideas about how the actual series ends. And because it's based off real life experiences, Woody and Matthew also had a lot to say about this. So they have fired the showrunner. The whole show has been stopped for production. It's taking a pause right now to rewrite the last 2 episodes. They have a new showrunner coming in, which is always going to be a big change. Always. Lee Eisenberg, who did Jury Duty, and also Little America is coming in, rewriting those 2, working with the original people. I'm excited to see if that turns out well. I love it so much. I love these guys. I'll watch anything they do. I think it'll be fantastic regardless. And I think this drama will soon pass. Unlike Rachel Zegler's drama, it's still going to keep going. If you ask me, even though she's back in the limelight, she's doing a play, guys. She's doing Evita now. And she's getting great reviews, though, so good on her. She's getting great reviews. People are loving it. They've sold over $200,000 worth on tickets. So in the first week, people are loving this. Of course, this is London's Palladium's theater. It's a big auditorium they have in London, and she's excited about it. But it tells me something. Her film career is kind of dead for now. I think she has to go regroup, get back to stage, find her way. And people will probably tell me to leave her alone, but she kind of shot herself in the foot. Yeah, it's a comedy, Cara. It's a comedy. But she kind of shot herself in the foot, if you ask me. But you know what? She might come back. So people will probably tell me to leave her alone, but maybe not as blunt as James Gunn will say, getting off Matt Reeves' nuts. Because that's what he's saying. He's like, everybody, get off Matt Reeves' nuts. The Batman 2 is coming. He's writing. He has his process. He's figuring it out. It could be great. Get off his nuts and let him write, guys. A lot of breaking news, everybody. A lot of breaking news. Now it's still concerned about Matt Reeves' conversation. Very concerned, Valerie. Very concerned.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Pep Star tells me that all the time to get off people's nuts. Right, Pep Star?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah.
Not a place to be.
Not a place to be. I can't hear you, Thirsty Daddy.
Probably not for you, Brian. I don't think it's your cup of tea.
That's not my place to be. I'm going to let the nuts alone, and I'm going to talk about the news. That's what I can do. Yes, JR?
I was just saying, why are you on their nuts? I don't want to know.
Nobody wants to know about that already. But leave Matt's nuts alone, guys. And if you
talking about pistachio nuts, I'm just kidding.
Then get in there and dive in, crack those shells, and have a great time. And then we're gonna have a great time, guys.
Ouch. Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.